Michael Morales Torres para Lucha Libre Online, la marca número 1 de Pro Wrestling y Combat Sports en el mundo. Mi co-host para el día de hoy, Isa, la Demon Diva, también está con nosotros, y Roman, que hizo un cameo con nosotros, también llega a Lucha Libre Online oficialmente. Nuestro invitado de Wrestling God en directo desde Impact Wrestling, Moose, llega a Lucha Libre Online. Brother, it's a privilege to have you back here on Lucha Libre Online. How are things going your way?
It's going well.
Glad to know you're doing all good here in Puerto Rico. And for time purposes, Isa will be shooting the questions. I'll be here just translating sometimes and doing the promo. So Isa, go there.
The questions.
Hi, Moose. How are you today? Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. Nice dog.
Thank you. His name is Roman, actually. I wanted to ask you, are you going to stick with the Moose name, or are we ever going to see you wrestle as Tank? I heard in the past that was one of the names you had in mind, and I would love to know if maybe we'll see that in the future.
What name?
Tank.
Tank. Oh, Tank was a name I had when I was in, I want to say, high school. High school. I think that was my nickname in high school, but probably not. I like
no,
Moose.
You were gonna. I like it too. I like it too.
I don't think I'm ever going to wrestle as any name. It doesn't matter what company or where I go. If I go anywhere, I'm always going to be known as Moose. I could guarantee you that. I
love to hear it because I do like it, but I do think that Tank is very fitting as well. I just want to let you know that.
Okay.
So obviously, I know a lot about your story, and some of the things, like I was watching some of your interviews and I was mind blown at the fact of just giving up football to pursue this wrestling dream of yours, and going from making $60,000 in a week to $25, driving 24 hours just to wrestle for 12 minutes for free. You know, some people would think that you're absolutely insane. What would you have to say to those people?
I am insane because those people are 100% right. I am a psychopath. I mean, wrestling is one of those things. It was always a dream of mine. Something I always wanted to do. I loved it. So So once I had the opportunity to do it, I was going to, and nothing was going to stop me from doing it.
Yeah, you went all in. But I will say, some of the people that say you're insane, but there's other people out there that you're inspiring. Some people, I don't think it's ever too late to chase your dream, to chase what you really want to do. And I think that's something that you should take pride of, and let people know that it's never too late.
Yeah, you're 100%. It's never too late. And professional wrestling is something I fell in love with when I was 10 years old. So I'm living the dream now, just being able to do it right now.
Now, I did hear you say in the past that, you used to watch it religiously since you were little, and that's where your love from it came from. But you had no idea of these other wrestling companies or like indie promotions, when you first started watching. So how does it feel now that you wrestle? You've wrestled for most of these promotions. You had no idea even existed when you became a fan.
No, I watched TNA from the beginning. I remember hearing about TNA, I want to say in 2004. So I was in college when TNA started, and I remember hearing it. And I wasn't a big fan of it as I was WWE, obviously, but I still watched it. Like every time I had a chance to catch a show, I would definitely watch it. And I think I went to a couple of live events too, in I want to say 2006, 2007, my first 2 years in the NFL. So TNA is always something I heard of. The companies I didn't know much about was like Ring of Honor and the Indies. I'll be honest, I didn't know independent wrestling was a thing when I was in the NFL. I didn't know independent wrestling was a thing until I got into wrestling. So
now, being a professional athlete, obviously you've always had the discipline and the training. Was it easy to transition from a football player into a professional wrestler?
It's pretty much the same workout regimen. And plus, it's one of those things when you have passion and love for something you want to do, it doesn't matter how hard that thing is, it's going to come pretty easy for you. So my transition into professional wrestling came quite easy.
Yeah. And I know that it's being reported that WWE has some interest in you right before you were about to hit the free agency, and you decided to stay with Impact because you had some things that you still wanted to accomplish with Impact. What are some of those things that you still want to do in Impact Wrestling?
I mean, I've accomplished one of them, that was becoming the world champion. And there's things like I've never been exhibition champion. I've never held the tag team titles. So those the pretty much only two things I haven't done an Impact yet, which I would like to do before I hit that crossroads on if I want to stay or if I want to leave. But I'm big on accomplishing goals and finishing things, and those are definitely two things that I would like to finish.
Who would you pick as a tag team partner?
Ross Foreman would be my tag team partner, because I wanted it to be just me, so I had to pick somebody who knows nothing about wrestling and who sucks. And Ross knows nothing about wrestling. He sucks in the ring. So he wouldn't have to help me at all. I could just do it by myself.
That is incredible. What about your dream matches? Who do you still want to face in the ring? And let's just say there's no such thing as a forbidden door. You can pick whoever you want. Who would be your dream opponent?
Oh man, I honestly, I hate answering these questions because it's like make believe if. And honestly, at this point, I don't have any more dream opponents. I mean, I feel like I've gotten a chance to wrestle everybody I ever wanted to. And, I'm just preparing for whoever the next person is, next man up. And I'm at the point in my career where I think I can have an outstanding match with anybody.
Of course you can. I'm speaking of that. One of my favorite matches of yours and one of my favorite opponents of yours is Bobby Lashley. I remember watching your guys' feud in Impact back in the day, and it was just some of my favorite things. So can I suggest him for your tag team title partner?
I mean, Bobby will make a great tag team partner, but I mean, we're in two different words right now. So the likelihood of that happening is 0 to none. So,
we're fantasy booking here. We're fantasy booking. That's all we're doing. And what about, tell me about your match with Kenny Omega. That is also in recent history, one of my favorite matches that you have. How was that like? What was the preparation and how did it feel?
It felt well. I think me and Kenny definitely need to have that match again in front of fans. Because when we did it, we didn't have any fans there. And you never know how good a match is when there's not fans give you the reaction. So I think we owe each other one to have that match in front of actual fans.
I 1000% agree. How did you go through that period of time of having to wrestle and not having the fans' reaction there? How did you grasp what you were doing, and how did you go on, to do your work without having that fan reaction?
It is definitely tough, but I mean, we're all professionals. We got to do it, but it's definitely very tough to do.
Moose, I wanted to jump in and ask you about Slammiversary. You and Sammy gave, it was brutal. It was difficult to watch. You guys gave a Monsters Ball match. That was something different you did in your career. How was that experience and having Sammy as a dance partner in this case?
It was good. It was definitely a brutal match. Sammy's specialty, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it was one that people would remember. We had a lot of moments in that match that funny, hard hitting, exciting. I think we gave the fans a little bit of everything. So yeah.
If you allow me, I'm going to say something in Spanish as well. Viernes y sábado 12 y 13 de agosto, Friday and Saturday, August 12 and 13, directamente en el Cicero Stadium. Una arena histórica para todos los latinos y para todos los hispanos. Impact Wrestling les trae Emergence, un pay-per-view con mucha historia, mucha violencia también, mucha acción a través de los años en el Cicero Stadium en Chicago, Illinois. Hay muchos latinos en Chicago. El Cicero Stadium es esa casa que tanto hemos estado esperando para ver lucha libre, e Impact Wrestling te lo va a traer. Moose va a estar en acción, Jordan Grace va a estar en acción, una serie de superestrellas que no se pueden perder, así que 12 y 13 de agosto en el Cicero Stadium en Chicago, Illinois, y también los jueves a las 8 de la noche, hora del este, Impact Wrestling te trae toda su programación semanal en Access TV y en YouTube con la suscripción de YouTube Insiders desde $1 mensual. Jueves, 8 de la noche, hora del este, no se lo pueden perder por nada del mundo, al igual que shopimpact.com para toda la mercancía. Let's go to Isa.
I just have one more question for you, Moose. What is the training and discipline that it takes to stay in the shape that you're in? And pretty much you've came to wrestling and you've been at your peak and you remain on your peak. So talk to me a little bit about the discipline and the training that it goes into that, including the diet, nutrition, and all of that.
The diet is the hardest part of the things, because you have to force yourself to eat the right proper stuff daily. And I'll be honest, right now I'm not even 100% on my diet, but I'm gonna dial here in a few weeks because we got Bound for Glory. But the diet is definitely hard, and it's one of those things that it's hard to do year round. So what I do, I try to like pick my spots where, okay, I'm gonna do this for 2.5 months and eat clean and get ready for this pay-per-view. And then once that pay-per-view is over, okay, I have a couple of months to kind of live freely, or not really. I'm not, when I say live freely, not eating junk every day, but like,
right,
you know, and still following somewhat of a proper eating regimen, but also knowing when you could go there and have some pizza and have a burger and have a cake, you know. But yeah, Bound for Glory is coming up October 7th, so I'll probably say by the end of this month I'll dial it in and get on a major diet to get me leaned out for Bound for Glory.
That's good to hear. So I would assume you're going to take advantage of the last few weeks that you have left. Moose, I would like to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for hanging out with us here at Lucha Libre Online. Anything you want to say to the people watching you here on Lucha Libre Online, and do you want to let them know where to follow you?
I will say, if you guys are in the Chicago area next week, go on impactwrestling.com, click on events, and get tickets. It's selling out quick, and it's going to be a sold out packed house, and you don't want to miss it.
Perfect. Eventbrite.com or eventbrite.com for tickets. The link is just down here. You just need to click for it, or go to impactwrestling.com and go directly to the events. Moose, it's been an absolute privilege. Ross, you have a tag team partner for you. Thank you very much for your time as well. And let's wrap this up en español. La Demon Diva, Moose y Michael Morales Torres para Lucha Libre Online, la marca número 1 de Pro Wrestling y Combat Sports en el mundo.